day to speak to the people of Kenya. Because because what they're saying is music to my ears. It's what I keep, saying. Look at what Professor Orama has said about how do we mobilize domestic resources. Why is Afreximbank, a local bank, local in the sense that it is African? It understands us better. They ask us less questions because they understand us. He's just said, we get our own money, we put it in some institutions out there. When you want to borrow that money from them, they tell you, you are a risky borrower. This is your money. It is okay for them to keep it, but it's not okay for them to lend it to you. That tells you we must have some local solutions. And it is, Professor, what I have been pushing in our country. We've had not a very good culture of savings. Our National Social Security Fund is among the smallest in our region. Now we have changed that. We are growing our pool of patient money, our pool of savings, our pool of money in our pension funds. Just in one pension fund, the National Social Security Fund, we have doubled in the last 2 years the money in that fund. And we will triple it by 2027. We'll have 1 trillion shillings in that fund. That is how we are going to create a pool of money which we can use for our own investment. Because I am told by economists, because I'm a scientist myself, that investment is a function of savings. If you have not saved nothing, you have nothing to invest. So we must start by savings. And I want to congratulate the people of Kenya. They have finally agreed that savings is a way for us to go. And it was what Professor Orama here was telling us, that we must build our own capacity to invest. And our own capacity to invest is built around how much savings we can put together. The call to action on that particular agenda is we need to do more around mobilizing domestic resources. Domestic resources for saving, domestic resources for investment. Look at what we have done with our housing program. We have mobilized resources, local resources. We didn't borrow from nobody. We have mobilized local resources. We are building 170,000 housing units, 400 markets, another 72,000 hostel units in Kenya. All we have signed contracts of 600 billion, or let me put it, $4 billion of Kenyan money, which we have mobilized locally. So even as we look for solutions from elsewhere, we must know that there are solutions that are near us here. And I can say that about what we are doing in, we've mobilized about 300 billion shillings to deploy our health. Again, local money, local solutions. We've rolled that out. And as I listened to my good professor here, Lopez, he said 3 things: ambition, focus, alignment. Our ambition has been very small. When you tell Kenyans we are going to build 200,000 houses, they say it is a lie. When we came here last year and said we are going to put together a team that is going to unlock special economic zone in our region. And I remember when I had a meeting with Professor Orama in Mombasa last year, and we did announce $1 billion of investment in special economic zones in our country. $1 billion looks so much money. People are saying, no, this must not be true. Because our ambition is small. So we are used to mediocrity. We are used to smallness. We must stop this smallness of mind and begin to think big and to think seriously. Look, today here, less than a year later, we have broken ground for an investment here, as has been said by these good people, beginning here, going to Dongo Kundu. Dongo Kundu will be there in a month and a half, and by February next year, we will be breaking ground in Naivasha. So, ambition, this is what this good Lopez is telling us. Let us raise our ambition. Let us stop thinking small. Let us stop thinking, oh, this is not possible, and this is not possible. We've had this for a long time. These are the usual stories. It is not the usual stories. And let's keep focus. You know, why are we, for example, why are we focused on textiles? Because we have identified some value chains, about 8 value chains in Kenya. We have, under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we are focusing on 8 value chains. One of them is textiles. Textiles because we have a competitive advantage. We have a good human capital, and we can grow our own cotton. We just handed over Rivertex. We signed the contract. We will shortly be handing over Rivertex to Arise. And they are bringing into that equation, you know, seedlings, working with farmers, so that we can grow our own cotton. So that even the factory we will be building here in Vipingo will use cotton from Kenya. That is the direction we want to take this. We are focusing on e-mobility. Why? Because therein lies value. We already have, just to mention one sector, 1.5 million almost border people in Kenya. Arise is beginning the production of e-bikes in Kenya right here in this region. Again, so that we can replace those borders which are using fuel with the ones that are using electricity. When I said that we will have motorbikes that will use electricity, you will not need to buy fuel. Many people say, oh no, how is that possible? You know, today we have motorbikes in Kenya that are using electricity. I was very happy last week to see one member of parliament, the member of parliament for Mwala, having gotten his own border people to buy 200 e-motorbikes for his constituency. That is the kind of thinking that we want to push into this space. We are focusing on leather. Why? Because we have the 3rd largest herd of livestock in the continent. Therefore, we have the raw material. We can easily drive that space because we have the raw material, we have what it takes, and with investments like the ones that we are discussing here, we can drive it. Why are we focusing on digital jobs, BPO? It's because we have a tech-savvy young population, educated, speaking good English, people who can drive that space. Again, that is why we are focusing on the BPO space, digital jobs. I'm just speaking to focus, you know, focus. So this is really when I'm listening to these good professionals, they're really speaking the language that I would all of us want to understand, that this is where we must be going. So special economic zones are instruments that we can use in this continent to do 3 fundamental things. Number 1, We are a continent where many of our young people, they die in rickety, boats trying to find jobs all over the place. We can create those jobs here in our continent. Number two, we have huge